Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to another live stream. Obviously, took a day off yesterday for the Euros final, but we're back for another live stream. We're back for another video. The Euros are finally over, which means we can now fully turn into transfer news for the next month and a half. If I don't sound energetic, which, by the way, I never sound energetic, but if I sound less energetic than I usually am, allow me, I am fucking hanging off my head right now. Literally, drinks for the Euros and everything, like, last night was a blur, and I don't even want to talk about what the morning's been like. But we're here for another stream, we're here for another video. Silly question, but Wayne, how are you, man?
If you don't mind me, just give me a bit of a moment. But congratulations to Italy, because they won. They had a great tournament as much as we did. Congratulations to them. Big up to Sancho, Rashford, and Saka stepping up and taking up responsibility on their young shoulders and doing, for me, a great job. But how bloody dare some of our bloody individuals think they've got a big bollocks to go online and be anonymous and start slagging off our players when they can't even do anything better themselves. They can't step up there and do what they do on a regular basis. They've got no right, they've got no being in their brains cells to even come up and start doing racial abuse to anyone. They've got to get their stinking brains out their fucking arsehole and realise it's the 21st century and we're all equal human beings. And I've had enough of this racial abuse going around, not just on the football, but general, going around this bloody world. It's got to stop. And I've had enough of it. And for me, Southgate has got, we can criticise him all we want, but he's the most successful England coach there's been in years. So why are you putting blame on him? If it weren't for him and the coaching staff and doing the right decisions, we wouldn't be in the final. If it weren't for the players that played and done what they did, we wouldn't be in that final. So stop the criticising, start believing, and be happy that we got there and got where we did. Be proud of where we achieved. Be proud of where we've been. That's what it needs to be. No criticising at all. I've had enough of it. I am fuming. In words can't describe how angry I am the way this country and this world treat everyone. To me, it's just a sickening feeling. And I'm sorry for going for a rant, but I'm fuming. I am fuming.
You took the words out of my mouth, innit? But you know what the worst part is? We all expected it. I expected this sort of response for weeks. If it was going to be one of Sterling, Sancho, Rashford, Saka that ended up costing us the tie, we knew exactly what was going to be coming. I'm used to it, so I'm not too surprised by it. But when people ask me why I'm neutral when it comes to international tournaments, here we are. You see why I don't give a shit whether England win or they lose. If they win, I'm here for the good vibes. If they lose, I'm just going home and sleeping. Because we know what our fans are about, and we know there's always, I'm not even going to say it's a minority, because the amount of people that are on it is more than just a minority. But this is why I don't feel that connected to England.
Nope.
I'm going to just come out and say I don't feel connected to England at all. And shit like this is why. Because you'll have Raheem Sterling be one of our best players in the tournament, and everyone will celebrate him, but it's still N-words going around if it's another black player that costs us a tournament. So what's the difference? We're just hard workers when we do well, but we're the first ones to be blamed whenever we lose. But here we are.
Lewis, let me just say, I echo most of what Wayne says. Obviously, the abuse is out of line. It's a disgrace because they're the same people that cheer in Sterling's goals, so it doesn't make any sense what they're just doing. I will say, though, I do think we reserve the right to criticise Southgate in that final.
I criticised the hell out of
He cost England that final with his in-game management. with his poor substitutions and his poor tactics. So I think we deserve the right. If we're going to praise him for getting there, I think it's only right to criticise when he gets there and he doesn't do well. Okay? He had a big chance. This is not a great Italian team, no matter what people tell you, yeah? It's not the greatest Italian team. It can be got at. Spain got at them. They just didn't have the finishes to finish them off. But let me also say this. There's one Italian player I have to apologise to. When Tuchel came in, I freely admit to everyone, I said he's not my favourite player, and I was struggling to see how he fits into the team. Since then, he has gone on a magnificent, glorious playing run. Okay? Don't come at me with the one or two mistakes over 6 months or 3 years. Jorginho, I know Donnarumma got player of the tournament. I thought Jorginho deserved it. Jorginho has been magnificent for club and country this past 6 months. A true leader on the field for club and country. And is our regista. And is now, in my eyes now, I'm going to say it and I know I'll get flack for it. To me, he is world class in his position. He is world class in his position for me. And we don't have another player like him at the club. And I think now, if you play for the club, praise the players, but praise Jorginho. I saw some stuff today that people were trying to say he unfollowed whoever, which was all bullshit. They were trying to still blaming him. This man left everything on the pitch for you in the last 6 months and for Italy itself. So big up to Jorginho. Hope he stays. I hope he signs a new contract. He has been absolutely magnificent in the last 6 months. And, probably before that, and I just didn't see it probably, but he has been awesome. And I want to big up Jorginho. He was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I think he's had the most interceptions in a tournament in history since off the records even began.
Yeah. Can I say something really quick?
He's been amazing this tournament. Go on, Chris.
Yeah, literally about Jorginho. I don't understand why he gets a lot of hate still, because literally what he does for Chelsea, he puts it 100%. He always gives it his all. He's never really mouthy. He's not an arrogant person. He does his job. He's a humble guy. Like, I don't understand why he actually gets hate for it. Like, he just does his job, and like it's just weird now. Like, he's a good player for Chelsea, and people should see that now. They should.
They should, but now he's been part of the Italy team that's given England their biggest heartbreak in the last 50 years. He still ain't going to get that respect from the Adars. If anything, they're going to be on his neck even more. This is where we're at. Like, I'm just disappointed with England fans in general, but here we are. They got Fata with the donation saying, Leicester Square is clean as fuck. Which is a big surprise seeing the scenes there after the game. Yeah. Even after we lost, there was hundreds of people down there. Big mess in front of Odeon Cinemas, glass nearly broke, Burger King, there was some beer cans as well. One thing I do want to say about England, and as a venue in itself, there is no chance we're getting an international tournament anytime soon with some of the carnage that you saw around Wembley. And I'm not talking about the fans just celebrating and chanting before the match, because the scenes there were amazing. I mean, stuff like, I think there was hundreds, maybe thousands of ticketless fans in the ground. I think 3 rows were being split in. There was 3 rows in the space of 1 row with the amount of fans that were sneaking in through the disabled entries. And with the fact that the turnstiles in Wembley are so massive, you can fit 2 or 3 people in there with 1 ticket. So it was easy for them to get in. Like, stewards were struggling to keep them out. And you look at that and you think, are we really going to get... You ain't going to see a World Cup here. You ain't going to see a Euros here, at least for the next 20 years until we can handle shit like that. Because it's not the first time that it's happened. Happened in the 2011 Champions League final between Barca and Manchester United. Bare Millwall fans did the same thing in 2013 when they got Wigan in the semi-finals. I think when we faced Everton in 2009 as well, similar things were happening, and there were fans trying to sneak in too. So with that in mind, I think just good luck seeing us get another tournament in the future, because, again, we showed our asses.
Literally. So, literally.
Yeah.
People there. It's ridiculous.
As somebody that's been privy to Mexico-U.S. and Mexico, the Mexican fans, not saying all of Mexico or all Mexican fans, but they've had 2 games in a row stopped for bigoted comments or bigoted chants. And I thought that they were the worst fan base. Well, you lot just, and I'm saying this not as everybody, but the people who did it. You lot just really topped Mexico. From the racist comments to the assaults, to the sexual assaults, to the nudity, to
Sexual assaults as well. Oh my gosh.
What?
that was
I
after
didn't see
Denmark.
Oh,
You-
Denmark. No, I just heard bare people getting spat at. I didn't hear
Yeah.
sexual assault. That's
No.
fucked.
There was a couple on video.
What?
Oh, fucking no.
Yep. So from that to the what they did to the away fans, to even the manager Southgate coming out with some nonsense about the World War II, and that's why they booed the German national anthem.
Yeah, that quote you sent in last stream was mad. I didn't even know that one had come out.
Yeah, England don't deserve another tournament. Period. End of. You have to be able to handle winning and losing with some class, and if you can't show that you have that little bit of class, then you don't deserve it. I mean, I didn't see any reports from Hungary, but everybody's worried about this stuff happening in Hungary, and I think they probably handled this. They probably handled having a tournament there better than England did. I know, Lewis, you weren't going to go to Hungary, but
but now I feel like a fool because we're in England, and when England loses, basically just as dangerous. I'm hearing like 12 men getting stabbed in one area in London in the space of 2 hours after the game.
I saw a man being thrown in the river.
Mm-hmm.
They threw a man in the River Thames.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
a black man apparently.
Oh, no, imagine my shock. Here we are.
So I think that I can't believe that Boris Johnson's not coming out today and addressing the nation. It needs to be had.
But if we won, you would have announced there was a bank holiday.
Yeah, and I don't know where your police force is. In the United States, tear gas is flying after first couple things, depending on what city it is. But I didn't see one police officer at all in anything. Just like let them do what they're gonna do, and we'll clean up afterwards. But that's nonsense. People get injured.
I don't know. For me, I could think it might be a numbers thing with the amount of fans drinking all around London, let alone just around Wembley. But same way, there should be enough numbers anyway to deal with this. Especially you have the majority in Wembley because that's the biggest venue.
Right. And so I'm going to sum up the game in a couple of tweets. One that I put out saying that if the lineup that was leaked was going to be the lineup that if you don't control the midfield, you're gonna lose the game because with a back three you have one less midfielder, and Spain showed how you get at Italy. Is you control the midfield. You pressure Jorginho. You do not let him dictate play. We're playing a back three. You see that midfield. It's going to be a matter of time. And everybody said, "Well, it was 1-1." You scored in the second minute and did nothing the rest of the game. They had over 60% of possession the entire game. You let them play their game. For what reason, I don't know. And then the last tweet,
I don't even think they expected to take the lead so early.
Yeah, I think they were trying to play ollie ball, sit back and hope to nick a goal and win it in the end.
Just hope to hold it.
So the last tweet I want to highlight is I don't know if you're good friends with Have Hope Hut.
Oh yeah, he's cool.
He tweeted before the penalty shootout. If it goes to shootout, I hope no black players miss their penalties. Kind of foreshadowing and kind of an ironic tweet at this point because, if somebody comes out with a tweet before the shootout saying, "I hope no black players miss their penalties," what does that say? He knew it was going to happen before it happened.
It's not even what does it say. It's more what have we been saying. Like we know this happens. This was the same thing for Raheem Sterling in 2016. We've seen this before. Seen it happen plenty of times.
You know,
Lukaku as well.
The sad thing is, we're not surprised.
I'm not shocked by it. I'm just shrugging my shoulders. I'm like, here we are.
It's like,
again, England get knocked out, and we just point the blame out guys.
Well,
that's what people are saying.
It's not like you were only doing the stuff when you lost. You were bad winners too. You didn't act right when you won either. So, and then Chelsea admin got hate for congratulating Jorginho on the championship.
Yeah.
He's a Chelsea player, folks. You have to separate the two. You know, Chelsea is something that England need to inspire.
Oh no, but this ain't even really just a Chelsea fans going at the admin thing. I remember when we played Denmark in the semi-finals, and the Southampton admin was getting battered for daring to wish Vestergaard good luck for the game.
Yeah,
it's an England thing.
But just think of these clubs. There are many. There are many kind of blueprint on what the country should be. It's a bunch of people from different nationalities, different races, different religions working together for a common goal. The exact opposite of, I guess.
Yeah, but how can there be a common goal when literally a month or two ago everyone was just arguing about whether the knee should be involved in football? Oh, let's not bring in politics into football, but then we're also going to chant 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup. You fucking dickheads.
No, I'm saying that the players themselves, not anything else, the players themselves are different races, different nationalities, different religions, working for a common goal of winning.
Yeah, but that's the players. That's not the country, and that's what the problem is.
No. That's what I'm saying. But that should be the blueprint, right? A group of people who have no reason to work together, working together to achieve something. That's what I'm saying. That's the aspiration that the country should strive towards. So I think that you should look at these clubs and kind of draw some inspiration from it and say, you know, if a group of players can come together and do this, why can't a group of people that are united by a common geography, whereas you all live in the same place, come together and do the right thing, at least for appearance's sake. I mean, I don't get that.
But I think quietly this is meant to be England's appearance as fans. Like I saw someone commenting saying maybe we should just not allow fans to drink before and during the match. It's like good luck. Like, this is literally what English football culture is meant to be about. You drink, you sniff lines, you get off your head, and then you just go scream at a football pitch for 90 minutes. That's it. Like, we're built on being pricks. That's English football culture. We're all dickheads. So they move like dickheads. Who can be the biggest dickheads?
Yeah, that's why you had the ban in the 90s for the hooligans?
80s, yeah.
Yeah, that's why. That's also low-key why the rule for fans not being allowed to drink inside stadiums still goes. You can only drink in the concourse. There's a reason for it.
I just think they need to bring. I'm sorry, this might sound a bit extreme, but I think I would have let a heavy police presence and a military presence yesterday. I would have had that.
Oh yeah, you should have.
We can't be trusted.
I'm surprised there weren't a heavier one.
We can't be trusted. If I was one of them stewards, I don't care if it costs me my job. If I see these idiots like trying to force me, I'm starting hitting back because they're bloody idiots. They're just morons.
No, I'm let them in because stewards aren't armed.
Just let them in. Just you know, I don't even know why they stood in front. There's like 4 people trying to stop a whole big bunch of people coming through. It's like it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Just I've allowed them through. Or just what is the point? What are you supposed to go to? But why your boss comes to you? Why did you let them through? It's like 100 people against 4 people. It's not going to work.
It's crazy because we're this close to getting safe standing in grounds now. And it's 25, 30 years after Hillsborough. But yet again, we don't learn from our previous mistake. No. When was the last time you saw a bunch of fans scramble to try and get into a ground without a ticket? And what happened?
Well, if it was the United States, they would have been arrested.
Here we are again.
So,
yeah.
I don't understand it.
Nobody thinks.
I'm surprised there wasn't more casualties during the build up to the game. You know,
we don't know.
We don't. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing's been reported. But
and I'm sure they're not going to
Man saying
report
stop
it.
slagging off all of England. I will slag England off. We're an embarrassment of a country.
Yeah.
I said it. I've been
Yeah.
saying it for years. I said it since the fucking BLM marches, and then everyone got into a state over the statue getting defaced.
I'm
Bullshit.
ashamed.
It's been bullshit.
I'm
Karan, we will
ashamed
get
to
to
be
that soon.
English.
I want to talk about this first, but we'll move on to Haaland afterwards.
Perception.
I'm
Yeah,
ashamed.
yeah, people don't even understand that perception is reality. Okay, the way people perceive you is what you are in their eyes. So if the scenes coming out of England are this, and the testimonials from not only people of different that look different than the majority of England, but the people that look the same as the majority of people in England, meaning the white people that came from Denmark and Germany and had horrible things to say about how they were treated there. This is their perception of your country now. Not because if you want to say the majority of the country, but it doesn't matter because they have a perception of we don't want to go to London ever again. We don't want to go to England. There's something really wrong in that country. And that you might say every country does this. That's fine. You can say that, but we're talking about England right now. And England is the one that was forefront in all of this thing. It's the last thing that just happened. It just happened yesterday. So you can bring up other countries, but I didn't see it happening in Germany. I didn't see it happening in Denmark. I didn't see it happening in Italy. I didn't see it happening in Hungary. I didn't see it happening in the Netherlands. So
It's just England.
Right.
if you
We'll
I'll just
complain
say
that when we go away to other countries, we get the same treatment. But I mean, I think England fans only get that reserved treatment for themselves because of the way people get treated whenever they come to England. We have a reputation for ourselves. No one else does.
Well, can I just say something? Because it's bothering me. The people in the chat and want to start slagging off these panels for giving our opinions on what we believe in are jerks. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all and get yourself off the channel because we don't want you here. We don't want your shit. This is personal for all of us in different ways and we're giving our opinions, right? It's something that needs to be taken seriously and we all believe in that. That's why we are speaking up. So I've had enough of hearing people on this chat and come and say shit about these panelists. It ain't happening. I'm not having it.
Don't rise to it. Don't rise to it. It's nothing. I don't give a shit. Andrew, you're on mute anyway.
If there's
bro.
400 people watching, smash that like button, man. We're not even at 100
Yeah.
yet. Come on, smash that like button. It's 400
Yeah,
you watching.
all of that as well.
Come on, man.
We haven't even got to the Southgate stuff. Him alone. That guy. You had one of your most heartbreaking moments in a penalty shootout, and you're an experienced player. Then you allow a 19-year-old to take the fifth penalty. Our biggest penalty of their biggest penalty of the last 60 years. Are you crazy?
And I do have to big up Josh. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but before he Instagrams me, and before the penalty, when Rashford and Sancho came on, he was like, "That's great. Bring on two cold players to take penalties." Yo, man.
Can I just say that penalty from Saka, that penalty is the biggest sporting situation to happen in this country for 60 years. Yeah, it's the biggest because it's the biggest sport. It's the most popular sport. Yep. That's the biggest moment in this country's sporting history. Yeah, for the past 50 years. Yeah?
Damn right.
And I know it might seem trivial, but it's the biggest sport, and that's why. And I credit Saka, Sancho, Rashford saying, yes, I'll take it. But if you look, before the penalties are taken, Southgate is going around. He doesn't know who's going to take the penalties. Yeah? He doesn't know, which means he hadn't prepared. They might have been taking penalties. That's fine. But he didn't prepare them properly. There's no way. I'd say to Saka, you know what, Saka, if I was him, Saka, I thank you for stepping up. You're going to take a penalty later. Yeah? Or, do you know what I mean? You're going to take a penalty later. I need Sterling to. I'm going to have Sterling take it. I'm going to have Grealish take it. I know
Yeah, if you look at Italy's fifth
if you
takers,
look at the penalty
Jorginho.
records, so this squad there's not a lot of good penalty records, but I put them first because they're more experienced. Or just
Harry Maguire.
Or just do what Harry Maguire. Yeah, but I know, but Harry,
He made it, but come on.
But that's what I mean. But Harry Maguire, defenders usually smash the ball anyway, which is I always think what penalties they should take.
Sterling could have taken it. He won the fucking cup final against us, the winning penalty.
I just think
him or Grealish should have been stepping up.
Southgate didn't know who was going to take it.
They said that they wanted to take one too.
That's great.
Yeah, they did.
That's great.
Grealish did say.
It was
Going fifth, though. That's your most important penalty. Why is Saka going
it's the
fifth?
fifth one. It's the fifth one.
The third and the
carry on or you lose it.
Yeah. Big up Karan as well, saying should Chelsea put all their eggs in one basket for Haaland or look to improve other areas of the team? I've already said improve other areas of the team over just putting the eggs in one basket, but we will go into Haaland news in a little bit. Just going to run through this first. Marin as well also saying, I'm sure you have some form of riot police that could maintain order. These fans aren't England, so why let them define you? They are, though. Like one thing I don't like is people, as soon as something bad happens with a group of fans. I'm not saying this is you, Marin, as well. I'm not getting at you. But one thing I don't like is when a certain group of fans do something bad, and then we say, "Oh, they ain't Chelsea fans, or they ain't England fans, or they ain't real fans." Yes, they are. They're the ones in the ground. They're the ones buying the tickets. They're the ones at the venue. They're the ones with us. They are English fans. Just like anybody else whose values you would agree with, they are English fans. But that's exactly what the problem is. Same thing when Chelsea fans end up embarrassing us, like the stuff that happened in Paris, and everyone said, "Oh, they ain't Chelsea fans." They are. They were season ticket holders.
Yeah.
Can't sit here and tell me that they weren't fans. They are fans. So we can't sit here and just act like they're not. That's what the problem is, though. It's the culture. It's not who the fans are, and if you want to push them away from being involved with us, to be honest, bans and everything run anyway. But they are fans. We can't say that they aren't England. They are England. That's the whole problem. That's the culture anyway. CFC fans saying, why did Kane go second instead of fifth? He's the main man, but somehow Saka was the anchor. I don't get that. I understand you want strong penalty takers for the first, third, and the fifth, but usually keep your strongest penalty taker for number 5.
Henderson should have stayed on to take a penalty
for that situation.
So also he
Henderson
did miss a penalty.
I would have more trust in Henderson. His mentality is his mentality at Liverpool is high.
I know, but Henderson's missed penalties for England in the past.
But Saka's never took a penalty in his life.
It shouldn't have been Saka full stop, but it still shouldn't have been Henderson.
It's just anyone old enough, I think.
Even Stones, bro. Like, even Stones.
You could have had Sterling take that. You could have had Grealish take that. Let me get the rest of the lineup out.
Shaw took one in Europa League final.
Sure.
Was Walker?
Shaw could have taken one.
Andrew, everyone at United took one because De Gea couldn't save one.
Phillips took one. He's a dead ball specialist from Leeds.
Phillips. Phillips.
Yeah, maybe that's why you have James Ward-Prowse in the side, so you can bring him on to take a penalty.
Oh, you just.
But then you got to bring him on.
Well, that's fine. They did the same thing with Rashford and Sancho in the last minute of the game.
Well, Price is not even.
Them two I'm not really against. Like Rashford, he did miss, but I can understand Rashford taking a penalty. So
the way that Rashford went up, and he doesn't know. You could see he was not confident. The way he ran up to that, I was like, "What is he doing?"
Yeah, he started, then he slowed down even more when he was going to hit it. It was like, he hit the post. So the keeper went the wrong way, so
he missed. Yeah, the keeper didn't say that. He missed the goal.
Yeah, he missed. Yeah,
and that's hard to do from that. I mean, I was a keeper, and it's not too hard to put your foot through it. I mean, I'm gonna run some propaganda right now, but just go back and watch Pulisic's penalty versus Mexico to win it. He didn't do any fancy run up, couple steps, top bends, end of.
Yeah, like in Hazard, they just do a couple steps, walk it, and just hit it.
Yeah, you put your foot through it because the ball's going to travel at a speed if you put it in far enough away from the keeper that they can't get to it. the human body only reacts to something in a certain amount of seconds. And if the ball's traveling at a certain speed, they're never getting there. It's just, if you try to be too cute, you're going to screw yourself if you try to be too cute.
Unless you're good at it, like good at technical, like Jorginho, like he doesn't blast it or nothing. He just like does this hop skip thing, and it just normally works out.
Yeah, I was hoping that he wouldn't do the hop skip. He would just have blasted it because they were all waiting for it, and he did that before.
Yeah.
Remember when he missed a couple in the season?
Yeah, he did blast it. Yeah, he did blast
He
one
didn't
before.
look
The first one he took before. After that, he blasted it. If he would have done that there, Pickford wouldn't have got to it.
Yeah, I
Because-
reckon he'd be waiting for the hop skip, wouldn't he?
Didn't Pickford save his last, like the hop skip last time, like during the season?
I want it. Big up Go AM saying I know trash for Dancho and Saka miss, but let's not get distracted from the fact that Tappy is still shit.
God's sake.
At least you got enough time for some Tammy agenda. Big up yourself, Go AM. You actually got a smile out of me today. Myron Phillips also saying it's on the decent people and culture to not let those hooligans into the limelight in the first place. That's my point. Suppress that shit with the police. The police, I understand. We do agree there should have been a better police force around Wembley. But it's not really the responsibility of the decent people to deal with dickheads. Like, dickheads are going to be dickheads regardless. And I can't lie, when it comes to England, there's usually more dickheads that are around. And the hooligans are always the vocal ones. They're the vocal minority in the group anyway. The decent people, if you're talking more about families and shit, it's just a day out. They're going out, going to watch the game, support England, and they're going home. They're not going to be as vocal about it. These ones are the vocal ones, which is why they also think that they're the voice of the fans too. Which is exactly what the problem is, but this is why we're saying it's a culture problem.
But they're always going to be focused on because of what they do. You don't focus on the families and that because it's not going to be. They're just doing normal things. They're nothing should be out of the ordinary. These guys are trashing stuff, drinking, fighting with each other, smashing into stadiums, sitting in people's seats that actually bought a ticket, and then they're outside after the game trying to beat people up. It's just they're always going to be focused on because they're idiots and because of the violence that they do and because of who they are. So, and it's always the same. It's every tournament we do this.
This whole thing has been This whole thing was supercharged by the lockdowns. Not to give an excuse, but it is a cause. It is a cause. And it's like going to a zoo and opening all the cages and then being surprised when the animals fight.
Yeah, which is why there should be a bigger police or military.
Are you saying we've got to put those people in a zoo now?
Well, they
no, I'm
animals.
saying that.
You may as well. You may as well.
They are animals.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
they may as well.
they didn't like
Good-
humans. So.
Not in a zoo, in a prison.
Prison,
Well-
we can make that prison turn to a zoo, get some money out of it.
But what I'm saying is, if you did that in a zoo, if you opened all the cages up and let the animals go,
Yeah.
bad things would happen.
Exactly.
So if you pressurize people staying in their homes, stay in your homes, and again, not an excuse, a causation. You're just throwing gasoline on the fire. You should have known this and had some foresight to put a force out there sizable enough to deal with the idiots.
But just that
And if you don't have the police force sizable enough, then what are they doing with all your tax money?
But I understand. But just I would say, you can have that as an excuse. But we've seen this like every tournament.
Yeah. I'm just saying it was worse because
I know.
of the.
I think it's worse because it's like the first big, like, tournament thing we've seen for over a year. Like people gathered together, and it's just, it's just one that it's. I mean, you know what? We probably would, even if we'd won, we probably would have seen some stuff get.
Now, let's just face it, right?
Anyway.
They're pricks. Let's be serious. Actually, really, the fuck's that?
Oh, yeah, someone's alarm.
Somebody's burning stuff in upstairs.
Burning his egg.
Yeah.
I'm just massively disappointed in. I woke up this morning and I saw what I saw, and it just. I know we lost it yesterday, and everyone was upset, and I get that, but it's just disgusting. It's appalling, and then what it is, it's funny, is that people wonder why England or us English people wonder why we can't host tournaments. This is
Exactly.
why, because England trying to host the tournament and doing, and trying to do so, bring an other array of other countries over to this country, it's just not going to happen, and
No.
it's just purely because of the idiots. We've got too many idiots in this fucking country.
Yeah.
You mean
Wait,
Nigeria
I
has
agree.
won more trophies than England since 1967?
Yeah, they probably won like a few
Probably.
African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
They've had good enough players in the past for it anyway.
Even Argentina's won more trophies.
Yeah, but that's
No, we win. If we win the African Cup of Nations, I can say Ethiopia up as well. Hopefully. Cool. We'll move off the talk about the Euros now, just to save everyone being depressed. We all know the biggest news that's come out today was from Jan Agfortoff regarding the Erling Haaland transfer, so we'll go into it now. He said, I understand Chelsea are preparing a big offer to check out and challenge Dortmund's belief that he will stay at the club for next season. And the understanding is that Dortmund would not say no to 175 million euros, which is about 150 million pounds as well. So it feeds into belief that Chelsea would pay that because they know that's been what the fee that's been asked for him. But Simon Johnson's reported something that's a bit more different, and he said that fresh reports of Chelsea lining up a 150 million offer this week are thought to have caused the hierarchy by surprise because they are coming to terms with the reality that Dortmund don't want to sell in 2021, even if they'll receive a fraction of his value in 2022. So we're hearing two different reports saying different things. So the first thing that comes into my head when I'm seeing this is this serious from Jan Agfortoff, or is this more Haaland's camp trying to put pressure on Chelsea to place a high bid? Because we do know that this sort of move would benefit Haaland and his team a lot more, as opposed to him staying anyway. Alfie Haaland gets more money. Raiola gets an agent's fee out of it. Haaland's going to get a bigger contract if he moves as well. So overall, it's better for them to try and get this move to happen. So do you believe that we're actually making moves now? Because it is just a day after the Euros have happened. I know we said wait till the Euros are done, but I don't think we expected a day straight afterwards. So do you guys think that this is something like we're actually making a move right now? Or do you think this is just yet again, we're just trying to push rumours for the sake of it? Because same way, it's more or less the same thing we already knew. 150 million pounds is the asking price. Chelsea are making moves to try and make it happen, but they haven't done anything outright just yet. Nothing's really changed.
2 points on this. Number one, Jan Agfortoff is the closest to this situation because he has ties with the Haaland family. Okay? Second point is, and this is not my news, Sadiq kind of broke this, that journalists get paid by the club to put certain stories out. Okay? Let me say that again.
I can believe that.
Journalists get paid by not only Chelsea, but other clubs around the world to put certain stories out. They're playing both sides.
Yep.
So if the board are surprised because they don't think they're going to get Haaland and we don't get Haaland, they've just now lowered expectations. On the flip side, if we do get Haaland, then the expectations were lowered, and so the excitement level's higher. Do not believe most of your journalists. Period.
I think we've been doing whatever we've been doing. If we have been doing anything, I think we have been doing it through the Euros, quietly behind the doors, and a lot of this can be schedulized. Chelsea and Dortmund, or Chelsea, in many ways, could sit there and go, right, we've done this, we've done that. This is what we're going to do. We know Haaland's camp's cool. We know how much Dortmund want. They're probably schedulizing when they're going to do this. Now, do I think it's a day after the Euros? Probably not. The fact that we've still got so long in the transfer window just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think Chelsea would do that early. So I just, you know what it is? I just don't know what to take from things anymore, because so many journalists are saying, if you listen to them all, for me, they all say the same exact thing. They may say it differently, but it all ends up being the same meaning, as it's not anything new. So for me at the moment, if it's not a tier one journalist, I'm just not listening to it. And Jan, for me, he's the closest in terms of, like Jester said, in terms of Haaland and the camp, he's the closest to it. So if it's coming from him, I'd listen to him a lot more than the blimmin' Simon Phillips or Matt Law, or do you know what I mean? Kevin Palmer, for example, who fucked everyone around on Twitter the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to say Kevin Palmer was fucking everyone on Twitter. Jan was with him as well doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is how this happened. Jan put out a tweet, and then Kevin Palmer had already said in a tweet he was going to release a story, so he glommed on to Jan's tweet. Doesn't matter good or bad, just so he get the clicks. So
Yeah,
I'm not absolving Jan from his part in it, but Kevin Palmer's a prat, a bellend, a wallad. Whatever you want to say about the man, he got no chin.
He's a
If a
fraud.
man's got no chin, how can you you can respect him?
What did he do?
He was
put out-
putting out
Respect
like
James Ellsworth,
the
he
deal
meant to
was
be a
done.
monster, it is what it is.
He was just
What's going
it's just the agent fees left, right?
Yeah.
And not just
And
that, he tagged, I think it was a Sunday time, I can't remember what he tagged saying that there's going to be an update in an article this evening. And
Yeah,
whatever,
and
but
it was-
everyone
it
all
was
liked
nothing.
the title. Yeah. And when you read it, all it was saying is Chelsea have a clear line and getting Haaland, i.e. there's no other club looking to get him, it's just Chelsea. Literally, that was all it said. Like, as if we didn't know that. So it's dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Because they only care about the clicks. They only want they're not journalists. Quit calling them journalists.
No. I mean, you say they only,
They're media whores.
you say they only care about the clicks, but the thing is, if they
No.
do put up, I get what you're saying. Like, you're right, they do only care about the clicks. But if they're putting fake news out there, they're going to get less and less clicks in the future.
No. That's not how it works anymore. You know how much rubbish they put out the last year? The Rudiger situation. Do we not remember that? Did Matt Law lose any followers? Did Matt Law lose his job for putting the stuff out he put out about Rudiger?
course
No.
not.
So no, it doesn't have to be true. It just has to be first, because
Do you know what?
all the
of time,
news-
I think they give. Go on. I'm just,
all the news organizations want is the money now.
yeah.
They're not based. They're not there for you anymore. They're not there to give you facts anymore. They're there to make money and promote propaganda for the people who pay their advertising, the people who sit on their boards and have certain agendas. That's what media is. It's not the old media before you all were probably even born that actually would give you factual information. Just say the facts, not put an opinion on it, and move forward.
And not just that, they get given, right. This is what it is with journalists, especially these days. They get given a certain amount of information through
Did he cut out?
Oh, I think he just cut out there. Jem?
He needs to get
Contact,
that
this
virgin
might
media.
work. Christensen.
Hello.
There we go. Yes, Jem, what were you saying, bro?
Listen, my phone, innit? My phone was ringing again. Every time I talk, my phone rings. I'm sitting there all
Don't
quiet.
worry, we said the magic word and you were back. It's perfect.
What did he say?
Christensen.
Yeah, and you literally said hello literally a second later.
What I was trying to say is all these journalists, just to cut it short, are given certain amounts of information from certain sources that, you know, of people that they know at the, i.e. Chelsea camp, or people that are close to a certain family member. Now they're given this information, and what they do is, instead of just saying it as they've been told, they kind of add their own, in my eyes, they add their own flavour to it. If that makes sense. So they'll tell you specifically of what they've been told, but at the same time they'll give you what they think. And I think that's what the fucking problem is. It's like, we don't care what you think. We want to know what you've been told a lot of the time. And I think that's the issue we have at the moment, especially with journalists. They do it a lot. It drives me fucking mad. That's why I don't read papers.
Talking about the bid, though, is that Chelsea are going to put in a bid, an official bid, if they know it's going to be accepted. They're not going to waste their time putting in bids after bids after bids, because they know how important this is, this deal. So they know how big it is. And if they go off unofficial, go to Dortmund and say, like you say, 150 million pounds,
yeah,
and they get the go ahead, then they put in the bid, it's all official, and then we start the ball rolling from there. So it only takes a matter of time then. But this isn't a transfer where you put in one bid, it gets rejected. You don't put a higher bid, it gets rejected. You're just not going to do that. It's just it's too much at stake to just simply do that. It's not a normal transfer. This, so I think they will test them unofficially, and then when they get the go ahead, that's when you'll get the reported.
She's let go to take it.
150. See you, mate.
See you later, Jam. Yeah.
But all the tier ones like Simon Johnson are going to say we're not going to bid for him, or we haven't put in a bid, or something like that, because that's what they've been told to say. Really. So, but you know, I trust Jan. He's close to the family. So
you're waiting for journalist reports, and you're trying to figure out what journalists you can even trust.
I trust Jan. I mean,
to be honest, though,
because you can trust Jan, but like he's so close to the Haaland family that I would believe if he was just saying this to try and stir up something in the Chelsea camp anyway, because there can be ulterior motives like that.
Yeah.
To be honest, what team is going to really turn down 150 now?
If we put the bid in, that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if we are. I'm hearing one article saying I'm hearing another one saying that we're trying to accept the fact that he probably isn't going to sign for us this year. There's other rumors saying that we're looking at potentially trying with Romelu Lukaku again. Like everyone's saying something completely different.
Well, again, we can sum this up really, really easily. The Hakimi thing. You know, his agent came out and said Chelsea put a bid in. Well, Chelsea didn't put an official bid in. They went through an intermediary and said, this is what we'll bid for Hakimi. So Inter had that. They knew that this is what the bid would have been from Chelsea. And Hakimi's agent knew this is what the bid was going to be from Chelsea. So, and PSG was working through another intermediary to put their bids in. And when it finally hit the magic number, that's when the bid officially went in. So you have to understand that you're getting caught up in the minutia of it. And the fact of the matter is, bids go in all the time. Not officially. They go through intermediaries. They go through a common agent. They go through, a common go-between. And that's how the bids get done until the club reaches that the magic dollar and the bid goes in. It's the way to not sound like to be seen like an idiot.
To not
the clubs
look like
don't want to
Arsenal.
look bad.
You don't want to look like Arsenal putting in a 40 million bid and 40 million and $5 or some bullshit that they did. Like, you don't want to be that club that looks like that.
You don't want to be embarrassed, do you, Daniel? You don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah,
you
don't want to be embarrassed at all. And I think that's why you haven't heard an actual bid go in currently. Like you haven't heard, oh, Chelsea have bid 90 plus this, or have bid 100 and blah blah blah. Because I think they're still working through that. I personally don't think we're going to pay 150. I don't see Marina caving into that, and that's the only reason why I don't think this is going to happen. We're not going to pay the 150.
It's not Marina though. It's Roman.
Is this more banter? Is this more
banter? Money?
No, I'm dead serious. She likes a deal. Any deal she makes, unless it's a release clause that she has no choice and she has to pay it, she likes a deal. So
this is Roman.
You can say that, but she's in charge. You can say it's Roman, but Roman isn't sitting at the table negotiating contracts and deals. She is. She's the one in charge of all that, not him. So if we're going to pay 150, we would have done it by now, by this point. We're not negotiating to just throw 150 at them.
Yeah, I don't think Haaland's in England.
Yeah, they are playing with everybody right now.
He's not in England.
They're taking the piss, and everyone's just eating it all up.
If our Haaland's at England, and I have no faith in him come to Chelsea, because he's probably had one look at what's happened at London and all that, probably had turned away from all that. You don't want to see it.
The first part of that statement is correct. He didn't do his fitness test today. And then Zort comes back with laughing he's in England, which means he's not in England. He's just not German fitness test today. Because he just got back to Germany either this morning or late last night.
It's nothing like with that starving for fucking information that we're taking this up like it means anything. I can't be bothered.
They'll be at airports next. You know,
They know they can say anything, and we're just gonna milk it all up.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to try to put a tracking tag on Haaland.
They're gonna chip him.
Boy.
I don't know. I think Xavi asked me earlier, like if I was okay with 150 million, or maybe he just put it on Twitter, and I think if it's incentive based, 100%. You know, like maybe 90 base and the rest are incentives or whatever. And I think that's what the club is going to push for, just like Manchester United pushed for that. The exact same thing. You have, you know, bonuses and incentives and all these other stuff. And the way Dortmund sounded last year, they might just still say no. I know we're saying it's going to be too much money, and you know, if we just say 150, like we can't say 150, but it's not going to be 150 up front. It's going to be, you know, 80 right now, and then, you know, bonuses.
Yeah, he literally just put a tweet out saying it was a joke. So if we didn't already know, it was a joke. He didn't mean it, guys. He didn't mean it.
So here it is. It's 130 guaranteed over 4 years, with 20 million in add-ons, incentive-based add-ons. That's the bid that they're saying that's going to be made. Okay, so 130 of that 100. Now what you have to figure out is out of that 130, how much does Dortmund want up front?
Exactly.
Because they're hurting for money still, because the Sancho deal was not enough money up front.
Right.
So.
And I think Sancho has a 5-year contract, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I believe that my belief is the upfront money will be his release clause amount, which will be £65 million upfront. And then the other 65 million will be paid off over 4 years, plus these 20 million in incentive add-ons, which will probably hit all of them. Let's be real. So you're talking about 85 million.
It'll be
over 4 years is another 21 million, roughly 21 point something million over 4 years after the 65 up front go through, which means we've only really spent 65 million on him this year.
So
yeah, even though FFP is canceled, that still helps for like future years, because in future years you don't want, you know, it'll still be a lesser amount if we pay more now. So maybe the club will like preferably pay 80 down now and then amortize the rest, because FFP doesn't really matter like right now or the next couple years. But if it's a deal like that, I think that can definitely get done. I just don't know if Dortmund, because of how they acted last year with Sancho, I'm not sure if they're going to, you know, if they're going to do that. Because they were dicks last year, because they offered 110 million or something with the same plan.
They never put that bid in.
No, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing you were saying, Jester. It's like they obviously spoke to, you know, different officials from the club. So Dortmund knew they were willing to offer that.
Yeah,
and still
You
said
know what
no.
their first bid was for Sancho last
Still
summer?
said no.
What was the
It was
first
like
bid?
50 million pounds.
No, but we heard even from Jan. We heard even from Jan that they were willing to offer 110 or something, but not upfront. Or their breakdown was way too off or something. There wasn't a lot of upfront money, and Dortmund was just like, "We're not doing that. We'll just wait."
I think they said the extras or the bonuses, the incentives weren't based in like they weren't logical. They were trying to make it do, you know, like the Martial where they would put the Ballon d'Or.
Oh
thing
yeah.
Stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, and Dortmund were like, "Come on, be serious." You know what I mean? Ballon d'Or, don't put a Ballon d'Or clause in. You know, it's so hard. You know, it's so hard to win those. You know, it's like if it's like, I think if it's more like incentive based, it's like probably for the hardest, like how many goals is he going to score? How many games when he reaches a certain number of games, or do you know if he finishes top scorer, or if we win the Premier League or the Champions League? You know, one of those things as well. They
I
are
think
struggling
those are the incentives clubs like. Like if the club wins, if you win the Champions League, then you have to pay us this extra money.
Yeah.
So I think for Havertz, we had to pay like an extra 15 million for winning the Champions League, and so it's like they prefer it's like a club incentive. If the club
Yeah.
wins this or if the club achieves this, then you have to pay, rather than a player where it's he has to score 40 goals because. Then the club then the manager was just not playing for the last three games when he's on 39 goals. You know what I mean? Like that's what clubs would do. You know, so he doesn't hit that. So he doesn't hit that 40 goal. Like that's what clubs do. Like we have to pay 40 million extra. No, don't play him. You know what I mean?
We need to win those games.
Chelsea won't
We need
do
to
that
win
if those
those
last 3 games are to win the title, or
I mean, to win the title, yeah, obviously. But if it's like, if you've, let's say you've already won it. You already won the title, right? And there's 3 more games, and he's about to break the record of 35 goals. Oh, just bench him. We're not paying that.
He just needs a rest. He just needs a rest.
Yeah, coaches don't think that way. That might be the board thinking that way, but coaches don't think that way.
Are you kidding me? You think
They do.
Do you think Haaland
They
will
do.
accept that?
Yeah,
I don't think you have a choice.
God, he would go ballistic. He would go
I
ballistic.
think he'll be happy with knowing he's going to get a golden boot no matter whether he plays or not.
Hell no.
He's gonna be like,
Hell no. The
I've done my
mentality.
job. We've won the league.
Listen, if the club says you get a 10 million bonus or 5 million bonus, that's better than them paying an extra 40 million because you scored an extra 2 goals. Like he'll take that. Like, they can make a deal with this guy. Like
I disagree.
it's that simple.
I totally disagree.
This is why clubs don't like those type of deals.
No, I get what you're trying to say, but you also need to look at the player in question. Haaland is going to want to break these records. He's not just going to sit idly by while they try to save money. Like, he didn't come here to save money. He came here to break records and to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that, but no, he was he wasn't on the bench for those last 3 games. Man. Like,
Fata, what are you saying anyway? What'd you pull up from the megastore, my G?
Couple of jerseys, training kits. Honestly,
big up to Fata for pulling out too.
Like this training
That's
kits,
what we need.
if you got some.
Oh yeah, the new training kit's looking lush. Can't lie.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
black.
it's just nice colors.
The black one.
Black and yellow.
Yeah.
There's a black one as well.
Yeah, that don't
It looks better than the home kit. Can't lie.
Have you seen this one? Have you seen this
I'll
one?
just say fish and chips.
Oh yeah.
Hell,
And then this one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're really running with this. Fuck it.
awful. Yeah, I'm sorry, Factor. That. No,
Man, do not do drugs and look at that shirt.
We sign Haaland, we can go for Kamara for 15 million. What, the DM? We should be going for him anyway. We've been saying that.
The kid you have on.
Let's talk about Basmati's performance yesterday. It is what it is.
Let's not, because you didn't like my opinion on Basmati.
Oh man.
Everybody's hyping his dribbles forward. Great. What did they end up in? Nothing.
But we're hyping up the minimum anyway, same way we always do.
Yeah. So he performed admirably on the field. Great. Jorginho outplayed him. End of. Jorginho outplayed the whole entire midfield.
Yeah.
He controlled that game after the first 20
I
minutes.
just don't get the comparisons. They're 2 different players. Like,
Yeah.
I just
But
don't
no,
get those
but we have to
comparisons.
make. We
Can-
have to do this.
Can both of them
Because
listen?
for 80 million, he is going to be brought in to replace Jorginho. Because we play with a
Potentially.
2-man midfield. We don't
Yeah.
play with 2 sitters. We don't play with 2 pressers. We play with 1 of each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game finished
Don't you think
1-1.
adding?
And I think they both did their jobs really, really well. They both protected their back four, protected their midfield. Jorginho, obviously played in the better midfield, and they kept the ball a lot better. But in terms of both teams creating chances or counteracting chances, there wasn't much on
No.
both sides.
Yeah.
Like Italy
Alright.
wasn't creating chance after chance after chance
No.
either.
No, they weren't.
Like they were stifled as well. You know what I mean? So it was like Rice did his job and Jorginho did his job, but
Yeah.
Jorginho is our player, so
Yeah.
that's who that's who you pick.
And if
And
you
he
look
won.
at
won.
when
Quite
I'm not
simple.
saying Jorginho is no Fabregas. If you look at when we had the Fabregas and Matic pivot, like that allows us to play. The thing that's the problem with Rice is his price tag. I'm not paying no 80 million for Rice. You feel me? 40 million. But if you look at like when we had Fabregas and Matic, I feel like Jorginho and Rice can be in the same way, but Jorginho's not no Fabregas. You feel me? But
Yeah,
even
didn't
though
have
he's a deep line
athleticism.
playmaker, it allows us to play a different formation.
You can't pay 80 million.
And then we don't know what
For someone.
Jorginho. We don't know how much Jorginho opens up, given like freedom, right? Like if he has the freedom, because right now he's the most defensive player on that base. Like he has to stay there, he has to operate there. You know, when Kovacic plays there is nowhere near as close. When Conte plays there is even worse. You know, Gilmore is probably the closest one, and he's out, and he's not even good enough yet. So it's like we need someone else there, like desperately, because you know. If an injury happens to him, what happens to us then? Who will be playing there all season?
Oh,
we'll bring another CM in. That's the thing. It's everybody's like, well, we don't have three
I just
CMs.
want starting quality. Like I don't
yeah.
want someone we have to like develop. We have guys we have to develop. We've sent them out on loan. Like players, you're not at Chelsea. You're not going to get that chance coming in. Whoever comes in, Tushimeni, Kamara. Any of those guys, like they're gonna have to come in and perform right now.
How good was Verratti
that's
though
fine.
yesterday? Verratti is so good.
He is a very good midfielder.
Yeah,
but
he's unrealistic. We're not getting him, man.
he's worth
You'd have
about
to get
70
Verratti
million.
because he's a midget. We already have enough midgets in the midfield.
Wait, come on.
No, but it's facts though. Like we were asking for a tall, imposing DM. Verratti wouldn't fit the profile of midfielder that we're after.
No, exactly.
That's true.
How tall is Shermani actually?
6'1".
Daniel, you ain't falling for that tweet, and neither are we. Come on, man. We really gonna
6'1",
fall for
6'2".
any random Yan tweets?
Let's see how far he's like 5.
Well, it depends if he's full throw or not. Full throw, I think he's 6'2".
My only reservation about him is just adaptation. Adaptation to the Premier League. I don't know how long it's gonna take him. I've seen him play once. He was great, but it's once. So I don't know. I guess that's the risk. That's why probably Chelsea are more interested or pushing hard for Rice, because usually, and we know Chelsea, when there's when there's a cheaper deal, they go for the cheaper deal. When they can make a 25 million player instead of the 70 or 60 million, they always go for the cheaper deal. There's a reason they're not right now, and they're still trying to figure out Rice and trying to get a deal done. You know what I mean? It's maybe because Tuchel really likes him and the club really likes him, so it's a perfect situation for both of them. I don't know, but usually what I know Chelsea for is if there's a player going for too much money and there's a cheaper alternative, as we know from 2017 onwards, we're going to keep the cheaper player. And currently we're not choosing that, so there must be a reason why.
Strange, right? It is, it's out of the ordinary for that. It's like, listen, if they choose to spend it, it's not our money. But I wouldn't spend that much. I wouldn't spend £80 million on someone who I feel needs some improvement. Do you know what I mean? If I'm spending £80 million on a central midfielder, I'm expecting top quality
finished product.
One.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? I just, and you can say English tax all you want. You're right, and Daniel's right. This deal is very strange for us. I don't understand it where it's coming from, like financial wise, because as much money as we make, we always look for a deal. And it's very strange. And it's like, it's coming from left field. I think, given the price of Rice as well,
they must see an opportunity there to drive the price down significantly.
They're secretive, aren't they? So
they must see something, because
we don't know what they're looking at. So we can only decide. We're looking at head on, going, we wouldn't pay 80 million for Rice. We just wouldn't do it.
I would be a hypocrite because I said the exact same about Hakimi, right? If I'm buying a player and you're saying this guy is coming in to start for 80 million, which was his price, or 70 million, there should be no deficiencies in your game. Like it shouldn't be, oh well, he's terrible defensively, but he can get better. No, you should be better now.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
this is what I say.
You guys are right when you say 80 million for a player who still needs to get, which he could. I mean, he's 21. He will get better at passing forward and all that. But you're paying 80 for that, for you to do that right now as well. So, I think the club is still looking into it because they see a deal that they can do there for much less money.
It must see something. Obviously,
This
we
is what
don't
I
know.
say
We
about
don't know
Declan
what
Rice, because me and Lewis would in the watch along last night. There's a couple of West Ham fans keep mentioning about Declan Rice. My issue with Declan Rice is, if we buy him with that price tag, he has to perform straight away. We've said this like multiple times now.
Yeah.
He has to perform and come and show us that he deserves to be in that for that price tag. Otherwise, he's going to be a lot of criticized coming towards him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even just a price tag as well. It's the fact that he's Premier League proven too. That comes into the price tag as well. We're not bringing in someone from the Bundesliga or Ligue 1 that would need time to adapt. He's played in the Premier League before.
Cheaper, yeah.
The only reason why I'd say you would need adaptation time would probably be because we play differently to the way West Ham do. But if he comes in for that price tag, he isn't going to have that patience. He isn't going to have that time. He has to come in and hit the ground running, especially with the quality of midfielders that we have in the squad.
Yeah.
He needs to show the same standard.
Let's keep it. Also, we genuinely need to keep it at like 100. Like, let's be perfectly honest. What are we saying about Tammy? That if we wait till the end of the season or towards the end of the summer window, and people start getting desperate, the price will go up, right? We're talking about there's an English tax, so there's gonna be an English tax for Rice as well. And then on top of that, the man is already a captain at the age of 21. So we're not getting some. We're not getting what's a I can't even compare it to anyone because like the man is fully proven. Like he's proven. He's shown what he does on a consistent basis to the point where they gave him the captain's armband. Like it's not a matter of this is a prospect that we're trying to get and build up. But he's already proven, and now it's just a matter of putting him into our system and seeing how much better he can be. And this whole 80 million on my life, we're not going to pay 80 million for this guy. It's just not going to happen. Like there's no realistic view. Like, and there's no realistic view is anybody going to pay 80 million for this thing. And we all know Marina is that she's that person. Like she will make sure that she's not paying anything extra than what she has to do.
Which makes it still very strange. It's very strange.
Exactly, it makes it very strange. But this is all because West Ham do not want to.
Lads, I'm gonna shoot.
All right, Zabby, have a good one.
I mean, or it could mean
sell this guy.
Or it can mean West Ham or like posturing. They're posturing to the media. They're posturing because they must be telling Chelsea something completely different in the background. If we're still interested and still going for him,
we're not interested and we're not going for him. What did I tell you about fake news?
Yeah,
we are not going in for Declan Rice. All of our focus is on one man, and that's it right now. Yeah. It's on Erling Haaland and a central midfielder that you can bring in cheaper than 80 million pounds. I'm sorry.
What you're missing is a central midfielder is Rice. That's who they want.
No, it is not.
They would have signed anybody else at this point. They would have signed Schumann and Kamara if that's who they really wanted.
They're not going.
I just think when people are saying that we've been trying to sort out multiple transfers at the same time, it really hasn't been the case. We've barely been focusing on a DM other than Rice. We haven't been off. We've only gone after Lukaku, and Rice has gone quiet in itself.
And wing back.
Most of our focus, we are putting eggs into one basket, and that basket is Erling Haaland. I believe the source is saying that if we go for him, it's very unlikely we go for anybody else.
So
that's of marquee. He'll be the marquee signing, and then you have to look at the players going out. You've got Zuma, you've got Emerson, you have Tammy, and the last thing I want to talk about is Ziyech. Why in the world are we still seeing reports that Ziyech wants out?
Yeah.
Whether they're tier 1 or tier 9, why are we still seeing these reports?
I don't know. Like with Ziyech, I thought regardless we were just waiting for him to come back into training first before we know anything about what's happening. There's been rumours of a fallout with Tuchel, but he still needs to have talks with Tuchel when he comes back to pre-season training. So I'm not even sure if that means too much into it. You sent me a link yesterday saying Lyon were potentially interested in him now, as well as AC Milan. But the rumours from the club is that the club don't want to sell him, and they think he can come good after his first season.
Yeah, well, they'll sell him if they get the price tag they want for him. That's the rub right there. They
Sell
50
him.
million price tag.
Yeah, but most players have a price.
right.
Yeah.
They want what they paid for him. If somebody comes up with the $36 million $36 million that we paid for him, they can have him.
Ain't no line doing that.
Boy, Ziyech
But-
long balls and crosses into Haaland would be something else, honestly.
Yeah,
Wouldn't have the time nor the space.
we don't play that
Depends
way
what
actually.
system we're playing.
So we play a possession-based system.
Yeah, but what I mean,
Yeah, with us
formation,
playing
formation
with
we're playing.
the two 10s instead, I doubt you'd see Ziyech in the squad. There would be Mount and Werner behind Havertz right now. Then if you add a striker to it, they're going to be next to Mount and Havertz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
one person that we should
More than
Jester, Juve still broke, right?
They're never really broke.
You never know with Juve. You don't know if it. And
Listen,
I
they
know you're
money
about to say
laundered, man.
Chiesa, but Chiesa ain't going nowhere, man.
No, he's
ain't go-
on loan. He's not an actual Juve player. He's a Fiorentina player.
He will be this year.
No, he signed it.
Listen, Juve is the money laundering.
Yeah, Juve got it for 2
They
years.
will figure it out. They'll find a way to sign him and loan a kid out for 20 million and sell this player for 50. They'll figure it out. But he's definitely going back there.
Now for this year, I do believe he's going back there. But I'm talking about next year once this loan spell ends. Because if we're able to offer Fiorentina extra bread that Juve are putting up, he would be an ideal player to have as one of those.
Yeah, but he's on a 2-year loan.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep.
And the option to buy for $54 million.
Yeah.
I think they just bought Weston McKennie to Juventus after a long.
So that comes in on June 30th of 2022.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already done deal. They said they're going to pay for him. Chiesa, it's an obligation to buy, actually.
Okay.
So they have to buy him.
Yep.
So Chiesa will be at Juventus. We're not getting Chiesa. That's not going to happen. So, again, if you bring Haaland in, you have to understand we're playing with 3 attackers: Haaland, Havertz, Mount, Pulisic, Werner, and Callum Hudson-Odoi. That's 6. If you have Ziyech, that's 7. With 3 positions, you only usually have 2 deep in every position.
Yeah, wait, can I just jump in here going off of that? Like, I really feel like that's why all these players are here. Like, you're not going to be the big man on your team anymore. That's why they came to Chelsea. They want to win trophies, right? So by coming here, you don't got to accept the bench role, but you got to have the mentality to be strong enough that you don't just own the position anymore. So it's like that. I'm not trying to give my American boy Pulisic props here, but obviously Pulisic has been utilized as a super sub. But if anything, I feel like he has the mentality more than anyone that he knows he's the bench player and he knows he's able to be an impact still coming off the bench. So like we just went over Ziyech, but Ziyech more than anyone knows he's not going to start every game. So it's like he has to still have the mentality to be strong enough, and just in all the big games he comes up or he starts, he's just got to be being the player he is. I don't know, but I think the mentality is huge. Like that's why.
Yeah.
Next season's going to be massive for Pulisic because he's had a season where he's been in and out of the first team with injuries and also hasn't really been rushed back into the team a lot. So next season, hopefully his body's in a much better shape and we can see him play a lot more consistently. Because if he can, then he'll start getting more confident. And if he gets more confident, hopefully we see a bit more of the old Project Restart Pulisic, because that Pulisic was different.
Yes,
that
sir.
gave us like glimpses of Eden Hazard with just a bit more end product. It was
But
glorious.
don't you think that? Never mind.
What were you going to say?
I don't know. In the sense that, like, don't you think the team was built around him back then, though? Like, once he really started firing, like, they started trying to focus the play towards him. And if we get Haaland, he just has no chance.
I'd say it only looked more focused because you had Giroud in the middle, and Giroud's a selfless player by nature.
Right,
He
exactly.
always gets the best out of the players around him. Eden Hazard, for example, as well.
But let me ask this. Do you think the fans will be content with Pulisic taking a more of a supportive role.
Yeah,
compared-
I like him off the bench if anything.
They'll
Just-
be content if it works.
Okay.
As long as you're putting W's up and lifting cups, everybody.
Yeah, nobody cares.
content.
Yeah,
Boss.
Pulisic. I guess Pulisic can end up playing the role. You know, Robin played for Bayern for years. Robin didn't play more than like 30 games in 7 or so years there, at any point. But every time he played, he was excellent. He just needs to be like every time he comes back from injury, he just needs to be on point that minute on. You know what I mean? Because he's always going to get injured. You can tell his body's frail. He's just that type of player. But the reason why, you know, the likes of Robin and Ribéry stayed at the top, even with all their injuries, is when they came back, they didn't need 4 or 5 games to get going. It was immediately.
Yeah.
Like once he's back on the pitch, he's back on. So that's what I guess he needs to. That's the kind of form he needs to find, and he can get his 25, 30 games every year.
Big up Rex for the donation as well, saying Haaland revolutionizes Chelsea. In a season where all we lacked was clinical finishing, we could win the league. Also get ready for a Kai masterclass season. I am very looking forward to Kai's season next year. Haaland, though, I have said expect him to struggle with low blocks initially at the start. I'm going to say you have to wait for Haaland's second season, the same way we're now anticipating Havertz's second season. Like, he'll still get decent numbers for us, but I don't expect him to be the world beater that everyone expects him to be for 150 million. And if you're going into it with that expectation, then I feel like he's going to let you down a little bit too much. That's why I'm just saying don't have too much high expectations, because then you're going to end up slandering him midway through the season when he doesn't reach it.
So what people don't understand about Haaland, real quick, because I'm about to have to bounce here, is number one, he does assist. I think he had 7 assists last year. Number two, he outperforms his XG, which means he scores more goals than expected. When was the last time you had a player outperform his XG? It doesn't happen. Okay, usually you're under your XG, but I think he had like average 3 shots on goal a game.
Yeah,
3 shots on goal a game. And all the chances we created for our striker last year. The man will ball out.
Yeah, isn't XG like a yearly thing? Like, is it like the average is gonna go up now?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying at Dortmund last year, he had a higher goals per game than his XG said he should have.
Right.
Which means he outperformed what he was supposed to do.
Right.
You don't see that at all ever from a player. So if you give him 5 or 6 chances a game, he's gonna destroy the Premier League scoring record. He's gonna do something you've never seen. The man can put the ball in the back of the net, and it's not just tap ins, it's acrobatic strikes. It strikes from outside the box. It's from the left. It's from the right. It doesn't. The only thing he really needs to work on is his heading, and that'll come. But he's a freaking amazing player, and if we get him, you should expect to win everything.
Don't you take the Bundesliga into account with it as well? That's a much more open league than the Premier League.
Yeah, but he still only had 3 chances a game.
I know, which is why I'm saying long term it will work for us. But I'm saying it's going to be harder for him to keep that up in a league as intense as the Premier League.
It's going to be impossible.
It's always an exception.
I believe he will start slow in the Premier League.
There is, but the exceptions seem to be more the wingers than the actual strikers.
Yeah, but in a sense that, like Jester just said, that his expected shots was 3, so now it's going to be 4 or 5 because of how much he had the previous season. So in a sense, it's going to be like. The numbers are going to be the numbers will lie in this sense because the XG will be a lot higher than it should be because of how he outperformed the XG last year. So when he comes, all the stats that they're going to be giving us with the XG is going to be it's going to be skewed.
Can I say something?
All right, gentlemen, let me say something now, and then the floor is yours. I got to bounce. It's been wonderful again. Always enjoy coming on the stream. just a tidbit. Before you can change anybody else, you got to change yourself. So, do some self-reflection and look at the things that you can better yourself on, and then you can worry about changing people around you.
Well said.
Y'all have a beautiful day.
Yeah, but
Take
go.
care, man. We'll chat
Take care,
tomorrow.
Jester, man.
Can I say something about?
We'll just get to you. Says that means Rex saying that means from all his attempts, he scored more than the statistical analysis would have predicted from those same chances, meaning he is clinical. I don't think anyone's saying that he isn't clinical.
Yeah.
I'm talking about him all round. And will he be able to handle low blocks? Will he be able to deal with teams that sit deep and they don't give him the space for him to expose, which the Bundesliga gives you in so many other different levels compared to the Premier League? Like, it's built for strikers to succeed in there. That's why you see guys like Andre Silva, you see guys like Michy Batshuayi, Paco Alcacer go there and ball out in the Bundesliga because it's suited for them in that league. Premier League isn't. It's so much tougher, which is why I'm not sure if he's going to succeed there. But go on, Chris. What were you saying?
Yeah, I want to go back and say about Haaland. I don't think he'd be hitting it straight away off the floor, but what he will have, he's going to be a good player for Chelsea anyway, but what he will have is a Kai Havertz who's here he's had a year to bed into Chelsea. You have, I think Timo Werner will improve as well next season. I think he's had a year into the Premier League. I think he knows what's about. Like, he's got like so many more younger, experienced players who's won the Champions League as well. It's just going to help Haaland improve, I would say. Improve as a player, improve, like, adapting to different leagues and everything. So I believe it's going to be something like that. Like, he's got people like Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, all these players around him, even Ziyech, hopefully, and Pulisic. Just all these players around him is just going to help him out. So that's what I think about it. Like, it doesn't matter if he hits it running straight away anyway.
Yeah. No, that's true. He's not going to be on his own again. Not on his own because he had Jadon Sancho, but he really didn't have anyone else after Jadon Sancho. So he was solely responsible for all the goals that was going to be scored by Dortmund, which is why they couldn't do as well as they wanted to do in the Bundesliga. But in a sense, it's also going to be a matter of, are we going to be able to back him up, because that hasn't been fact for when we've been playing this year. So it's a matter of, can we give him those tap-ins still so that he gets his foot, so he can start off running. But also we need to have, like Timo, I'm the biggest fan, like Fatter, I've been with you the entire year, but he really, really, really needs to improve his shooting this season, because it's gonna be very key, because the amount of space that he'll be able to occupy, it'll open up space for Haaland. So it's all a matter of, can the rest of our team progress along with this new addition?
Rex Rubin saying Loftus-Cheek is back in pre-season. Phillips. Let me see. Has he said anyone else is coming out?
Why is Ziyech not back on the training pitch with showing them?
I think he's coming back this week. Him and Pulisic.
What international stuff did he have to do?
Tammy Abraham.
What international stuff did he have to do?
Ziyech?
Yeah.
Not too sure, really. I think that was just the odd friendly or two, and that was it.
Okay. Because Pulisic had to play a whole tournament. So it's or not a tournament, but the Gold Cup. I mean, what the hell was it called? Whatever. He had to play in his little
the Gold Cup
tournament. Yeah. So I didn't see, most of the players that came back now did not go to any international team. So it's a little confusing to see how he's getting a longer break than everyone else.
I hear what you're saying, but it's minor. He'll be back this week anyway. He'll probably be that. He'll be one of the players that starts the season, so he'll have a chance to hit the ground running.
Yeah. Because
Pulisic would be more likely to take a break. To be fair, Hudson-Odoi will be in there too, so there'll be plenty of options. Timo Werner will be late to starting. Mason Mount definitely won't start the season. Neither will Jorginho.
Yeah.
There's a good plenty of options. Let me see. Was there any other news coming out today?
Won't Arsenal miss a lot of players start the season
Pep
too?
Guardiola's request, Man City will meet with Dortmund for Erling Haaland as well.
I
don't really know how legitimate he is.
Say that again.
saying they're ready to pay 130 million for the Haaland transfer, but didn't Guardiola come out a few days ago and say that they can't really afford Kane or Haaland?
Of course. Welcome to this is Man City. This shit's ridiculous. They don't have the money until they find who they really want to, and then they find it.
I'm asking more whether it's true or not, because to me it's like
it's capped. It's always capped.
No way, City go for it.
They have money.
What's the motive? Because we've been speaking about the motives of all these journalists. Like, could be a chance for Dortmund trying to make a bidding war, or it could be bullshit.
It could be bullshit, but I think in a sense, maybe they finally decided on whether they're going to let some of their players go. They could get a decent amount of bread for Bernardo Silva.
Wait, is he the guy that said we had the Hakimi deal done? Okay, fair enough then. Maybe it's not legitimate. There was another bit of news saying Napoli have made an opening bid of 8 to 10 million euros to sign Emerson, who has been convinced to join Napoli, probably by Jorginho, to be honest. Like, his valuation fee should have gone up a lot higher since the Euros. It is just an opening bid, so it's not really a complete insult, but Chelsea aren't going to accept that. They'll want about 20, 30 million euros for that deal.
Great. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Let's say it goes into the Haaland deal. But then the question is, are we going to put in a 150 million bid for Haaland before or after we get rid of players?
At this point, I'm kind of skeptical that
it would have to be after.
It would have to be afterwards, but then we got to sell players first. And if that's the case, then us getting ready to make a bid is a load of bullshit, and it's not happening.
I don't have
the money for it.
I don't think it's like other clubs where we have to sell in order to buy. I think we'll buy and then we'll sell. It'll be like that to offset it. That's what I think we'll do. I think we'd want to sell more players before we buy Haaland, but I just don't think. I think we'll do the Haaland deal, and then we'll look to whatever we're giving them, whatever total we're giving them, and then we'll sell.
That would more so be us hoping. Because honestly, what we've been hearing is the club not wanting what happened last year to happen this year, where we buy a whole bunch of players and we're not able to sell any players.
Yeah, but do you know why
they're going to try
to sell any players? Because of these ridiculous fees we're asking for. Emerson played what? 10 games maximum this year?
Everybody is asking for ridiculous fees. That's what the market is.
But those are players that are actually playing. Emerson played 10 games. Maximum.
Yeah, but he's playing 10 games at Chelsea where we have 3 left backs.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
like he's a European Cup winner.
But we're asking for 20 million, dog.
None of these teams have money.
What has he done to show he's worth 20 million?
He's done enough to show he's worth 20 million.
No, he has not.
Christ.
We're talking about Cappy going for 40 million and the man's literally scored 15 goals.
They won't even set 10 million for Batshuayi. They want 15 million for Batshuayi. It just doesn't make,
It doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense. How much did Haaland go for last year?
Who?
Haaland.
Sebastian Haller, I don't know.
Yes. How much did he go for? 40 million. That's what he went for last year.
Okay.
He has 1 goal in the Premier League or something like that. He's
that was
terrible.
a mistake, and that
is the goal.
So people
that is the goal rate. That is the goal rate for players. Tammy has 15 goals in the Premier League. Last year he had 12 goals overall. He's a Premier League striker.
We know what we need for Tammy.
That doesn't help us, dog. That hurts us more. The fact that they bought him for 40 million. So now teams are going to look at that deal in a sense and say, "Oh, they paid 40 million for him, and he only scored 1 goal. Why are we going to pay 20 million for this dude?" It doesn't help us.
Listen, Dag, I was hearing people say even Morata wasn't worth 30 million because of how terrible he was in the Premier League. Guess how much he went for? After costing a 15 million loan fee, he went for 55 million. That's how we do deals. We don't do deals based on your
deals for
we don't do for any player. We've made like 30 million on Bakayoko.
We've been trying to sell Bakayoko, Drinkwater, and Emerson and Alonso for the past 3 years. Why are they still here? Because we're asking for too much money and we're not switching.
I don't think we're going to wait to sell to buy.
Look at the past 4 years. Look at the past 3 years of the players that we've been trying to sell. Every single year, it is the same fee, and they've played less and less games. How does that make sense?
What players have played less and less games?
Emerson, Alonso. When you look at Bakayoko, Drinkwater.
They've been consistently playing on loan. Bakayoko has been playing consistently on loan.
He's not playing for us.
And he's been making us money
He's not playing
consistently
for
as well.
us consistently.
That doesn't matter. This is about you're talking about sales and business. And Chelsea isn't gonna we're not gonna give cut price deals. We just don't do that.
We're not giving cut price deals for players that are not playing, and we don't want them on our side. We want them off our
Yeah,
wage.
no, we're not. We're still not gonna do that. I'm just going by the history of Chelsea. Like we can go about what we want and saying like we want, oh yeah, this player sucked, just get rid of them.
Yeah.
But we don't operate like that at all, ever. We're gonna get good money for all these different players, whether it's a loan fee, and they still renew their contract, and we're getting loan fees after loan fee, or we sell them.
Maybe a potential move for like Tammy alone. Then I don't know.
No.
Tammy's gonna get sold.
We're not going to sell any of
unless
these
he
guys.
signs a contract.
At these fees, we're not selling any of these guys.
We're not going to loan Tammy out unless he signs a contract. That doesn't happen.
There's only
That's
one
the
club
one
I've
thing.
seen was
I hope
maybe
we hit
interested
that
in West
Tammy's
Ham.
re-sign. That would be glorious.
Yeah, I like to see him resign.
If they get anything above 50 for Tammy Abraham, anyone who's dissing Marina, you need to stop. Yeah, you need.
We
to
got
stop.
58 for Morata.
That's what I mean. People forget that, don't they? They forget. That's like,
We saw Morata for 58 million. He's worse than Tammy.
Exactly. They forget that, and she still gets criticism. I understand that, but just think about, I mean, look at we're going to make a profit on Bakayoko, near enough.
No,
And-
we are.
Yeah.
Like
And
we've made 35
Barkley.
million from loan fees,
Barkley, we're gonna
just
make
on
a
loan
profit.
fees.
We're going to make a profit on Barkley.
No way.
Yeah.
On Bakayoko already. What
Yeah.
the fuck? Why don't we just try and sell this guy at any available fee then? What the
But
fuck?
we want 15.
Because we keep
We want
making
15
money.
million.
Like,
Yeah.
why would we sell him if we're making, like 10 million every year from
we just
loaning
want
him?
15,
Like,
we just want 15 million euros.
Well, because we're complaining about the amount of people that we have on our fucking squad list.
But is that we're only asking?
No, I think
apparently
we're
only
complaining
asking
about that.
15 million. We're only asking 15 million. Bakayoko. We're
Oh
only
shit,
asking
Spice
15
Fit.
million.
I might throw him the link for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If he's
And
around.
it's like, and look at Barkley. We're going to make a profit on Barkley if we sell him because we got 12 million for him last year on loan. So we're going to make a profit on him.
There you go, bro.
So it's like,
yeah, listen. At the end of the day, when these smaller clubs lose their best players, like for example, if Grealish leaves, right, and Aston Villa have to sign players,
yeah,
they're gonna spend that. They're gonna spend that money. You can say, oh well, they don't want it, or they're gonna spend it,
yeah,
because they have to sign players. Now they've lost their best player. Like if people are willing to pay this, crazy amount of money for whatever players that they have, they're gonna have to sign, and we're gonna get the deal that we want. Like Inter is gonna have to sign, and if they want Emerson or Alonso, they're gonna have to pay 30 million. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking hell, this rain is strong. Shit.
None of this loan to buy crap.
Yeah, they better just tell Lukaku if they need more money.
That's an Italian club.
If we need more money, sell some players, man.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not
Absolute
giving you a
Chelsea.
deal. You didn't give us a deal.
Exactly. Yeah. Why should we give you a deal? Because you didn't give us one.
That's
And
what
honestly-
Chelsea say. Chelsea are the most active club in the race to sign Griezmann this summer. Griezmann's not happening, man.
No.
800
Nonsense.
grand.
The only
Are you mad?
The only reason why they're saying that's happening is because we're the only team with the funds available to go and get it. But it still doesn't mean it's happening. He'd have to have his contract. He'd have to have it split by at least an eighth for that to even be close.
Yes, you're right.
And even then, like, he's not really the profile of striker that we're after either. He's more of a centre forward, likes to play off somebody. We've got Werner for that.
Yeah.
We've got Havertz for that as well. We don't need a Griezmann. It don't make enough sense. And anyway, like we said, he's a Wallad. I don't want him anyway.
I don't want him, man. He's an idiot. Racist.
Griezmann and his agent are probably on their knees to come to Chelsea. Get out of there.
No, Griezmann don't want to leave
Barcelona.
But Barca want to get rid of him so they can get Messi back.
Yeah.
No, they can't. They can't register any of their new signings. Not Memphis.
because
not
they're
Aguero,
over
nobody.
the wage. They're over their wage cap.
They literally can't register them. Like it's hilarious. It's
Done it
just
to themselves.
I love it. It's great. I'm
just-
glad this is happening.
Messi is literally clubless.
Yeah, and he's gonna stay clubless until they decide to sell
Yeah,
somehow.
he's literally.
He's clubless and he's still winning trophies.
He could go sign on if he wanted to.
He's probably gonna. I mean, they're probably gonna sell one of their youngsters, to be honest.
Well, the thing is, everyone knows they're so desperate to sell, they're not going to get the prices they want.
I mean, I think they'll probably. I think they might sell Ansu Fati. They could get some good bread.
Imagine you bought Coutinho, was it 145 million? You're probably going to have to sell him for like only 20 million or something like that.
I've heard 20 million for Coutinho.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Look, they've sold.
The club is a mess, man.
The club will never do that. They would rather he leaves on free than he sold for 20 million because that's embarrassing.
Daniel, he
for
had the clauses,
for a big club
clauses in his contract. Daniel, they couldn't play him at the end of the season, or said owed like Liverpool, like, I think £10 million or something.
Yep,
for
true.
appearances or something like that, and they didn't play him, so those are in there as well. That's how tight they are.
I keep telling you guys.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, but they knew they weren't gonna win shit.
Yeah.
So they already accepted it.
No, this was to play just an extra game or something. I think it was just and then they were going to have
telling
to
you,
pay
man,
like Liverpool £10 million or something like that.
And I'm just this is why I keep talking about our wage structure. I don't want to end up like them, and that's one of the biggest, richest clubs in the freaking world, and they're struggling right now.
They've been run disastrously the past 5 years. Ever since Neymar left.
And to think you get 222 million from Neymar and then you do nothing with it.
Well, they spent 100 and something on Dembele
and Coutinho.
135.
Yeah,
100 and something on Coutinho, and then 100 and something on Griezmann.
Yeah.
How much was Dembele? How much was fucking Frankie De Jong?
100 and something. Frankie De Jong was like
Frankie
70 something.
Frankie De Jong apparently is on over 400 grand a week.
He is. He is a very good footballer. No, he's on 400 plus, but
he's a very good. They're all very good footballers. He's not worth that.
No, but De Jong's a top class midfielder. Like Dembele, he's on. Yeah, okay. There's Dembele, Coutinho, who's making a living over there, and who's absolutely awful.
Look at this wage bill right here. Are you telling me that he has more pedigree than Pjanic?
Pjanic.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
he has more pedigree than Pjanic, who started for Juve for 7 years.
Pjanic is 30.
Messi's 33.
Busquets on 290
is kind of washed.
He's getting old. Like, I don't think you understand. What do you think is going to happen when Conte hits 30?
So we're playing guys. So we're paying guys for being young.
No, we're paying them for. Okay. Fam.
We're paying. We just said we don't want to give Rice that much money because he's not going to perform that right now. Why are you paying Frankie De Jong 400K? And Miralem Pjanic, who you just signed, or Pjanic, whatever his fuck his name is, who you just signed for 90 million the previous year, is on 180. And at least he's won 4, Serie A titles. He started every game. He's gone to
Juve.
Champions League finals with Juve. Yeah, as the best midfielder there. He went for 90 million.
Bam.
This is bad business. This is horrible business.
Very much bad business. Yeah.
400K for Frankie De Jong. For what? A Champions League run?
Semi-final, yeah.
You'd think Coutinho being a higher wage since he costs like 144 million.
These guys are sick. Barcelona is a sick club for this, man.
Financial doping. That's what it is.
Jesus Christ.
How much is Messi on? Jesus.
Messi's on like over $1 million, like 1.3.
Umtiti is getting 240K for not even playing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's on that weekly. That's insane.
You got Jordi Alba, Ter Stegen, and Coutinho on 165, PK on 245, Dembele and Umtiti on 230.
No. Ter Stegen's on a good wage. He's not on some aggressively like.
Oh no, I'm just putting it comparing to everybody else.
Yeah, no, but like when you look at their starters, like the one that I really don't understand.
Stegen's on a reasonable wage.
Yeah, the one I really don't understand is Serginho Dest. He's 19, getting paid 126. That makes no sense to me. Dembele makes no sense.
The problem is all their new players that they signed. Griezmann is on 880. What?
How did Griezmann get that?
They should have never signed him.
Just how bad are they at negotiations to be put in this mess?
Frankie De Jong on 400K.
Pretty bad.
They still owe Liverpool money for Coutinho apparently.
They must be pushovers.
They deserve hell. This is terrible.
What did the agent say?
They've
My
deserved
client,
Carl since
my
2009.
my client deserved
800K for
800 plus K a
Griezmann.
week, and they just said okay.
He said, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
No,
It's players.
they went. Oh, we're expecting 450K. Why don't you double it? And they went, okay.
They literally pulled down their pants. They literally pulled down their pants and said, "Where do you want it?"
Yeah, exactly. It was like
Ridiculous. Fabrizio Romano has also reported on the Erling Haaland news. He said Erling Haaland was not present at Borussia Dortmund's fitness camp today. The sports director Michael Zorc joking about it. Erling is already in England. He told Sky Deutschland, laughing. Borussia are still on the same position. They want to keep Haaland this summer. In other news, nothing's
It's the
happened.
same thing Sky Germany.
Nothing's happened.
If Fabrizio's a tapping merchant, man,
He's a
don't
plus
listen
one
to
channel, man. He's a plus
Don't
one
listen
channel. Isn't he?
Don't listen to that guy, man.
You were talking about reporters. You know how Jester was saying reporters get paid by the clubs?
Yeah.
That's all Fab. Just
He
literally
gets
like
paid-
the
he
minute,
gets
before,
paid by
the minute
anyone.
before they announce the signing, Fab puts his tweet out. It's not that deep, y'all. Like, please.
He definitely gets paid not to
That's
say
nothing.
100%.
It's fully nothing. I don't think I've ever seen him say anything in front of anyone else. He just says
passes
it
it along. He just
a minute
passes it
before the
along.
clock. Like, whoa. This makes no sense. Like,
Yeah, he doesn't. He just pass it along. FC. That's what he is.
fully a whole Twitch deal to pass it along.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I'm sick of these guys, man. When did they become stars? Him and Christian Falk
Last
with
year.
the True and all
It was
this.
last-
Like,
I swear it was.
It
last
happened
year.
when these fans.
these guys are
start doing
bums,
this.
man. They
When
don't know
these fans
anything.
Start doing this. It's that simple, man. Like it's clicks. It's fully clicks.
Yeah. I mean, look, man just started his own Twitch and YouTube channel.
And you can't even view it unless you're a subscriber. Like it's
Yeah. That's what I mean.
But what for? There
It's
isn't
the
transfer
game.
news
The
every
game
day,
is the
though.
game
Like,
is the game.
People are
realistically,
desperate.
But he just
Realistically,
hops
there
on
isn't
Twitch.
transfer
He hops
news
on
every
Twitch
day.
just to tell
I know,
people this. He hops on Twitch to tell people what he tweets. Like it's
Yeah.
come on.
Wait, who you on about?
Unlock the game. I can only give him credit for that.
Yeah.
I
did,
feel
he
bad
did.
for the fans.
He
Subscribe.
finessed it.
People are
He has a
asked the same
catchphrase
question.
now. Here we go.
Jesus.
Christian
imagine
Falk with It's
a
True is
reporter.
terrible.
Can't
It's
hate,
True
man.
is a terrible
You can't hate,
story.
man. He's getting the bags. You know what I mean? You can't hate.
No bullshit. No bullshit. Can't hate.
People are willing
No,
to pay
I
for
can't hate, but I know it's bullshit. Like,
Yeah, I know, but
I know.
like, people,
He's a
people are
tapping
willing to pay
merchant.
for it. They're willing to pay for it, which is, it's mad. Absolutely mad.
Yeah, it's mad. But guys, I think we are going to end the stream here. Big up everyone who has been locked in. I'm going to go and lie down somewhere because I'm still hanging off my head. Big up everyone who's locked in. We will leave you with a photo, as always, of your European champions. Take care, like and subscribe, and as always, up the Chels.
We know who we are.